so many people to thank, and know that, like you said, this is only the beginning. Welcome back to Card Talk. Thousands of people, collections, card shops, and collectors. 47.5. You're good to go. All right, man. A lot of time ahead and a lot of opportunity to make this place special every day. So, all right, what's going on YouTube? Card Collects 2 coming at you here with a brand new video. And today we are back with another edition of Boxes with Buckeyes. I'm here with Ohio State defensive back Cameron Martinez. Cameron, thanks for coming.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yep, I think this will be another fun edition of this new series we are going to try. So we are going to rip a box of Mosaic draft picks football today. This is a college-based product, so we're going to be looking for former Ohio State players. But I got to ask, have you ever ripped a box or a pack of cards before?
I have when I was younger, so it's been a long time.
Okay.
But this is definitely the first with the football stack of cards for sure.
Gotcha. Now, did you collect as a kid?
No, I didn't actually.
Gotcha. Now, what if I asked Ronnie last week, what if I told you there are cards that have sold this year for anywhere from $1 to $11 million?
Oh, that is crazy. Definitely. Just looking right now, I would definitely wouldn't be able to guess that.
Yep, totally get it. All right, so we'll let you do the honors. We'll let you open this. Yep, see how you do.
So you're talking about from the back.
Yep, from the back. It can be kind of tricky, but. So we're looking for a lot of cards now. We're looking for it's a lot of QB stuff, so it's a lot of prospects. They're backwards. Flip them around. Yeah, there you go. So we're looking for young QBs, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, some of the guys that are rookies this year.
For sure.
So Dak, nothing
Definitely
good.
know Dak. Yeah.
You know Dak?
Yeah.
You a Cowboys guy?
I am. I'm a Cowboys
fan. Are
fan.
you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I grew up. My dad was a Cowboys fan, so it kind of just stuck with me.
Gotcha.
Khalil Mack.
Stingley?
Yeah, Stingley.
He's good.
Yeah. No, I had one of probably the best freshman seasons.
I remember watching him against.
As a DB.
Who did they play in the bowl game that year? He looked awesome as a freshman.
He looked awesome in every. I know Georgia. He had a really good game.
Yeah.
They played in the SEC championship.
He's good.
Yeah. I'm Steve Young. I'm not.
A little old school.
Yeah, that's definitely old school.
Mechie. What else we got in here?
Mechie.
So you'll get to some of the good stuff here in a second.
Justin Jefferson, for sure. Carson Strong.
Rookie from Nevada. Nah. Nothing good.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Jahan
Dotson.
Yep. Kamara. So we're gonna get. I think there's one stuck right here. It's a redemption. So what this is gonna be an autograph. So it'll tell you what you can scratch this and redeem this for. So who's the player listed on the card?
Evan Kamara.
That one.
On this one. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Okay, not bad. Like I mentioned, it's a rookie QB, so it's one of those things where you're looking for, in cards, a lot of the young quarterbacks sell well because quarterbacks are faces of the team, right?
Gotcha.
If you thought about who on Ohio State's going to sell for the best their cards, Stroud's probably the guy. He just gets the most attention. So
no doubt.
It's really how it works in cards.
Wow.
Now, one of the things I want to ask why you can keep flipping through those. I don't think there's anything crazy. I heard you have a 9-minute highlight tape from high school, and I gotta ask, how did that happen?
So it's actually my brother's idea.
Okay.
I remember we were kind of just talking about, And
I should clarify, 9 minutes of only touchdowns.
Yeah.
Not just the 9-minute highlight tape. That's common, but 9 minutes of only touchdowns.
Yeah. So we were originally he's like, you got to make sure your highlight tape's long. He's like, let's make it 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. We would always usually try to do something like that. And then he came to the idea my senior year after it was done. He was like, well, you want to just make a highlight tape with all touchdowns? And I was like, sure, why not? It's already committed to Ohio State. I'm already set. Why not just have fun with it? So we were just talking about that. And then he said, he actually made the highlight tape. And I looked and it was 9 minutes long. I was like, so these are all touchdowns? Because I was actually surprised too when he had made it. And he was like, yeah. So then actually, ended up posting it out and it got a lot of buzz. Berm was actually the first one that made a lot of buzz and I guess it's still sticking.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the story behind
That's awesome. All right, we got one more pack. Now, I'm also curious why you're opening this. How did you, sounds like you have a very interesting story about where you started and how you got to Ohio State. Care to elaborate a little bit more on like your journey to how you got right here?
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. I was my brother was an Ohio State fan growing up.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't really too much of an Ohio State fan growing up.
Who'd you like?
I was actually a Michigan State fan.
Okay.
So that was kind of just my thing. Yeah, a short period of time. And then, him, just Ohio State always being good and stuff like that.
We can just skip over that one.
For sure. And then he was kind of just always talking about it, always around the house with it. Ohio State. He actually wrote Jim Tressel, Coach Tressel, a letter before. And Coach Tressel actually sent him like a bunch of cards.
Really?
Football cards of like the players and stuff like that. And then he wrote him a letter of like some signed and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so then actually after that, it was kind of got my attention a little bit, and then we ended up going to the football camps when I was younger.
Yep.
And that was kind of when I saw Ohio State and like saw everything. I was like, this is really cool. I was on the stadium, just doing all the little kid activities, things like that. And I remember when I was younger, I was like, I want to go here one day.
Yep.
And believe it or not, everything, I guess God has a plan for everything. So it just ended up working out, got recruited by them, offered by them, and, they recruited me really well. So kind of made it a no-brainer for me, and here I am. So that's kind of how it all worked out.
And you started at a small school?
Yeah, so I was at a small high school in Michigan. Smallest division, about 8 divisions. So we were in Division 8. Not a lot of kids at the school. It was a really good school. We were good at football, but just not a lot of recognition and attention you get as to being on a bigger stage like Division 1 or 2 or 3 or something like that. So that kind of got my attention after my sophomore year. I knew the kind of player I was, and we just kind of knew that we had to go somewhere bigger. And luckily, my stepdad was a athletic director at a school that was a bigger division,
Gotcha.
In my town. So it's kind of a no-brainer to do that, and it worked out for me.
That's awesome.
Since then, yeah.
So we did get an autograph, Treylon Burks. I think Ohio State's played Arkansas since the 2010 Sugar Bowl.
I actually remember watching that growing up, I think.
Do you?
Yeah. Who was you guys
Ryan
remember?
Mallett.
Yeah.
Ryan Mallett had a long day.
Yeah, he did.
That win was actually vacated, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't remember, I haven't forgot that game. That was a great game for Ohio State. Steve Miller, is that who had the defensive touchdown that game?
That was the Sugar Bowl against Alabama.
Sugar Bowl against Alabama. There was one against Ryan Mallett that game, but absolutely dominated Arkansas. But anyways, I asked Ronnie this. You talked a little bit about it, like you said, your brother grew up an Ohio State fan. When you're here, like what made you choose like Ohio State? Like Ronnie said he fell in love with like the campus, the people. I'm just curious, like why Ohio State, not any of the other big schools? Right? You've had other offers. Like why'd you end up here?
Well, I mean, just being a fan of Ohio State and everything like that, I kind of had to put that aside through the recruiting process.
Yep.
And I think I was able to do that. And Coach Hafley was here. He was a defensive coordinator. He recruited me really, really well. Coach Hartline did, and Coach Day as well. And that was like a big turning point for me as well. I mean, just the way they recruited me and the relationship that I had with them compared to other schools. And then also the campus and the fans as well. I don't think there's any fans, like there is here in Columbus. So, just playing against, playing in front of, over 100,000 fans every week is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And when I went up to the games and visited and things like that, it kind of, like I said, just made it a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a special place. It's definitely one I enjoy. I grew up in Columbus, so getting to live it every day is fun. But I was just curious your perspective there. You've played a few years. You played in a lot of different places. Played against a lot of teams. Would anybody stand out in terms of like tough matchup? Somebody that's been tricky to guard?
That's a good question. The receiver from Utah.
Really? I've heard that.
Yeah.
Ronnie said there was a tight end on Utah that caused some problems too. So it sounds like Utah was
No, they had a lot of good players. He was actually, he really surprised me. I think he was like 27 or something like that. He was older, but he had returned the kickoff for the touchdown.
Gotcha.
Obviously that got our attention a little bit more.
Yep.
And then I had to cover him a little bit during the game too. So I was kind of, I had a lot of respect for him after that game for sure. It was fun playing against him. I would say that was probably the most challenging so far.
Cool. What about favorite or toughest, whatever if anything stand out in terms of like stadiums you've played in that's like really stands out as like memorable experience, for the atmosphere or just the game, like something that you really, really remember, like this was awesome?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, it's kind of tough talking about it for sure, but I mean, I think Team Up North was it was a good environment that game. Even just visiting the past, I've never seen it like that, just that whole environment. And then obviously the game too. Wish you could get that one back, with the loss, but like I said, something that I think about every day, and I'm looking forward to playing them.
Me too. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Some unfinished business for sure.
Yep, can't wait. Last but not least, just a little piece of like life advice. I ask a lot of people that I interview this question. You've had a remarkable journey in life, and you play at one of the biggest college football programs in America. Looking back on your journey, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self, knowing what you know now and where you are right now at Ohio State? What piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
Man, just make every day count, honestly. You never know when, it could be your last day, for sure. But any chance you get, any opportunity you get to maximize, your potential and, what you love to do with whatever that is in life. I would just say for me, just take that all in and, not miss a day. Just make it all count and, just keep stacking those days for sure.
I love it. It's great advice. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us and doing this, and wish you nothing but the best for the rest of the season and hopefully a big win at the end of the year against the Team Up North.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
That's all I got for now, guys. Peace.